Struggling to find camera 4. The Port of Gauteng has received strong support from government and private sector stakeholders following the release of its white paper outlining plans for a 50 billion rand inland logistics hub. The project is seen as a major step towards easing pressure on the Durban-Gauteng freight corridor and improving national logistics. To take us through the details and the next steps, we're joined by NT55 Investments port developer Francois Nortje. Francois, a very good evening to you and thanks for coming into the studio. What exactly is this Port of Gauteng going to be?
It's going to be an inland port, a dry port, at the entry point and exit point of Gauteng. There's land there that's been earmarked in terms of Ekurhuleni's Metropolitan Spatial Development Framework for logistics and light industrial. It sits between the N3 and the container corridor railway line. That's the main railway line from Durban to Gauteng. So it will have two terminals, one container terminal and one car terminal. And then it will have everything logistics, large warehouses, cold storage, truck yards, everything. So it's to reduce the logistics pressure in Durban and to lower logistics cost in Gauteng.
Explain how a logistics hub in Gauteng eases pressure in Durban, which is where the majority of goods are entering the country anyway.
Yeah, because if you got an inland port and where the goods can, because there's 550 kilometers between Durban and Gauteng, then the stuff doesn't need to be unpacked in Durban and distributed to different angles. So they just get put on the truck and on the train, and it moves the 550 kilometers up the road to Gauteng, and from there it gets distributed. And the reverse, the stuff gets consolidated there, packed into the containers, and then the containers go down to Durban, and that will release pressure on Durban. But it's also we've issued this white paper, not on the Port of Gauteng, it's on the corridor, because the corridor also needs to work efficiently. And at the moment it's problematic, and the National Development Plan in 2012 already set a target for 2030, what must happen on it. And not much has happened. But luckily there are two things that are busy happening that will assist us in changing this corridor to be very efficient.
Efficient and I'm sure safe.
Safe
and
also,
secure is going to be a major concern. Yeah. You're talking about 550 plus kilometers of road. between the two. How do we secure such a long stretch of road?
There's performance-based standard trucks are being introduced into the world. There's 2,000 of them already in South Africa. They've already done 600 million kilometers. There's 28,000 of them in Australia. They work on performance-based standards, not on rigid standards, to make sure that they are safer at high speed and at turning and do less wear and tear on roads. At the moment, 85% of the containers that come into South Africa is a 12-meter container. The maximum length for a truck that's not that normal in South Africa is 22 meters. So it can take one 12-meter container and one 6-meter container. But only 15% are 6-meter containers. That means 70% of the containers that move between Durban and Gauteng moves on a 16-meter truck, not even a 22-meter truck. Now, they call it a double A standard PBS truck. Then it can take two 12-meter containers with a link in between. It can take a 120 degree turn without going over lanes. It is safer, 40% less reduction in 40% reduction in accidents. But now the beauty about them is they have to have a permit. So because there'll be a massive saving, we suggest that the toll concession government, whoever, I'll get to that, toll them a bit higher, because to take some of that benefit that the government will give them away. That will make the N3 toll concession even more profitable. Now, the N3 toll concession is coming to an end in 2029. We suggest that it be reversed to a cost recovery model instead of a profit model. And that profit that sits there in the N3 toll concession at the moment be distributed to Transnet infrastructure manager. They call it TRIM. That's the entity that's going to run the railway lines. Because that railway line is making such a loss at the moment that even by privatizing it, it will not work. It will need some subsidy. So this way, the tolls we're thinking is making a very big profit at the moment. It's interesting, they don't want to open their books. OTA has lost a court case trying to determine how much profit they make. So we got this opportunity that PBS trucks are coming, it's being accepted worldwide, and the toll concession is coming to an end. Then we can use that, and then we say 50% of the goods must be on rail, 50% must be on road, and those that are on road must preferably be on PBS trucks that are safer and less. Then the Durban-Gauteng corridor is not just a truck highway, it's a leisure highway also, and protects the KwaZulu-Natal tourism industry.
Apart from protecting the industry there, how much of a boon is this port going to be to the finances of Gauteng?
If it's fully developed, it will generate 500 million rand in rates and taxes every year to Ekurhuleni. 500 million rands in rates and taxes.
That's a lot of potholes.
That's a lot. Yeah. No, it will change the financial model of Ekurhuleni drastically.
And how soon can we expect this port to be open?
We think construction will start in 2027. The railway line's concession will be dealt with by next year if Transnet sticks to their timeline, and that will be the catalyst for construction to start in 2027.
All right, fingers crossed. Francois Nortje, thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you, Andrew.
That's Francois of NT55 Investments. They'll be developing the Port of Gauteng. Business news after the break here on South Africa Tonight. Stay with us.